I started becoming interested in sculpture when I was asked to make the clay in art class in high school. And my arm was up to my shoulder in clay and I liked it. I didn't relate to painting. What attracts me to the bronze is more what attracts me to the wax. I really love working in wax. It's because you start with wax and you end up with bronze. The challenge of sculpture is to capture something emotional and artistic at the same time. Thinking about the balance and the fact that cooperation and tension act together. And then the permanence of bronze, the fact that I can make something that will last forever. I am a fifth-generation Washingtonian, which is kind of rare because I don't meet that many. Living in DC has definitely affected my appreciation for art. My great-grandfather was about 10 years old and was playing where he shouldn't have been playing in the alley behind Ford's Theater, and it happened to be the night Lincoln was shot. So they blockaded off the alley, made him stay overnight, and he showed up at home the next day in the morning with a police officer and got a whipping for being out all night. That was my grandfather. My grandfather was an attorney in DC and was actually one of the attorneys that Judge Sirica called to represent the Cubans in the Watergate case. So that was his, and he was 89 years old. So. Most of my pieces have people, have forms, have dancers, because I think you can convey the emotion of a piece, of what you're trying to say, with the human form. There's a lot of emotion you can get out of one gesture. The expression I like to use is participatory art. I like the fact many of my pieces can be taken apart, put in many different positions, changed, and you can interact with them. So if art is meant to communicate, then the person who is interacting with the piece is communicating back. So it's a full cycle communication experience through art. When you work really hard in the waxes and you make the waxes as perfect as possible, you get good casting. Wagner Foundry in Fredericksburg, Virginia is where I've been casting my work for 40 years.
Home show proved.
Casting bronze and casting metal is a really long process. There's two different kinds of molds. There's a mold that you keep that does not get destroyed, that's made of plaster and rubber, and in that mold you make new waxes. And then there is another mold that gets destroyed in the casting when you melt out the wax and then pour in the molten metal. Casting is scary. I don't cast my own work because I would not be competent doing it, and it's a lot of molten metal.
So we're having a pour today, which consists of, we're going to have about 4 molds that we're going to pour. They've already been in the bake-out oven where they're being preheated because they have to be warm enough that when the bronze hits them, they don't explode on it, so there can't be any moisture. Somebody told us one time, pouring bronze is like 99% boredom and 1% terror, and it really is. And it just takes one simple mistake, and it can be horrific. So when Stuart and I go to pour, we've done this so many times, we don't even talk to each other. It takes an hour to melt the bronze down, gets to about 2,200 degrees, and it takes about 5 minutes for it to cool down. So everything has to be done very fast and efficiently. we're pouring in gravel, so in case we have a breakage in our molds, they stay together. So it does two things. It saves the casting, and it saves the people that are around us, because you won't have any spillovers. It's going to go right into the gravel, and everything is safe. So we've been doing it for, say, 40 years, and we've got it down to a science.
I hire a foundry to do all of those very precise, very hard to do things. But I do all of the waxwork and I do all of the metal finishing. The wonderful thing about my work is that the people who love my work really love my work, because they feel the emotion of it, they feel the connection to it, and that I appreciate more than anything. I just want to keep getting better and better, and I feel like my pieces are getting better and better.
I think you got it, my friend.